Louisiana Educator, Mickey Smith Jr.
Thank you. One more round of applause for the great Mickey Smith Jr. So this is what you look like. I've been praying for you for a long time, so I'm glad to see you here face to face. Look, we don't have a perfect country. We all recognize that, but one thing I know is that if we all work together, we can make this country more perfect every single day. And that's what our event about over the next 3 days is about, is helping you to get better at your craft so that you can better serve your students, fellow teachers, your school, your community, your families, the region, and our state as a whole. So as we think about that, for those of you who are willing, I'm going to start us off in the pledge. If you feel comfortable standing and offering the pledge with me, I just invite you to do so. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America. Thank you. Thanks for that. All right, so you know sometimes do I have any high school people in the crowd? Any high school people? So if you're a high school person in the crowd, you know that sometimes you have pep rallies, and sometimes when you have pep rallies, your teams are like winning all the time, and you know that you're going to win. There's a lot of excitement, and sometimes you have pep rallies and your team's not doing so well. Well, look, the pep rally that we're having today, you're like undefeated. You are doing amazing work, so let's get loud, and let's do this thing. So Mickey's song was great. Would anybody like for him to do it again? You can come up and dance with me. We'll have a slow dance. Any takers? I don't think the convention center would allow it. We're too close. All right, so I'm going to need help today. As you can tell, my comedy's not that great, so I'm going to ask for some help. So I'm going to welcome to the stage at this time the 2020 Middle School Student of the Year and current freshman at Benton High School in Bossier, and just all-around good guy, Zach Pryor. The socks match mine?
Yeah, the socks. We got the socks too.
Zach, when you asked me what I was wearing, I didn't know this is what you had in mind.
Well, to be the best, you got to model yourself after the best. Thanks for having me. I'm really glad to be here.
Oh, I love this stuff. All right, Zach. So we have 2,000 educators with us today. Like we want to invest in them over the next 3 days, help them get better at their work. That's what they want. That's why they're here. That's why they're away from their family, their friends, so that they can lean into their crafts. Are you ready to get started?
Actually, 1 second. Do you mind if I take a moment to thank some of my teachers?
Your show, Zach.
All right. I would never have been able to accomplish so much if not for the support of so many great teachers, and I just want to take this moment to thank them. This goes all the way back to my kindergarten teacher, Miss Paige Malley, who inspired my love for school as a whole. It then continued to Miss Julie Ricketts, my 4th grade math teacher, who encouraged me and made me believe that I could do great things, a belief I carry to other aspects of my life. This year, I had a few important influences, including my AIM teacher, Mr. Nick Moore, and my English teacher, Miss Alicia Garrels. Mr. Moore was with me even before I got to high school, helping me with scheduling and acting as a general advisor for any questions I had, and I could always rely on him for advice. Ms. Garrels reignited my love for writing and always motivated me to never settle for anything less than my best work. I had so many outstanding teachers that had an influence on my life who shaped me into the person that I am today. As teachers, you may not see the extent of your influence, but trust me, your positive impact and encouragement sticks with your students for years to come. So, to every educator and administrator in attendance, thank you for all the incredible work you do every day.
Good job. Zach, could not have said that better myself. I have some amazing teachers in my life, and I think that they have helped me become who I am today, both in knowledge but also personality, and so I know that you feel the same. So over the next couple of days, you know, we are here to support our teacher leaders throughout the state. We have teachers here with us. We have assistant principals, counselors, district level leaders, superintendents, and so we just want to do the best with them over the next couple of days. But one of the things that's really important to me is that we highlight excellence. Because if we highlight excellence, it does a couple of things. One, it honors the people who have been excellent. And two, it gives other people something to look forward to and try to aspire to be. So how about we do some of that today?
All right, well. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in welcoming our 2020 Public Interest Fellows, Chris Deere and Jessica Borland, as they announce the 2021 Public Interest Fellows.
Thank you, Zach and Dr. Brumley. Each year, the Louisiana Department of Education and the State Board of Elementary and Secondary Education award the Louisiana Teacher Interest Fellowship.
The fellowship allows the recipients to spend the upcoming school year advocating for a key education initiative of their choosing.
Winners are chosen from the previous year's list of Louisiana Teacher of the Year finalists, and this year, like last year, there are 2 winners.
As we call your name, please stand to be recognized for this honor. The 2021 Public Interest Fellows are Bridget Berry from STEM Magnet Academy of Point Capee. Congratulations. And Trinette Wallace of West Thibodeau Middle School. Congratulations.
Bridget Barry's advocacy project is to develop a new virtual teacher mentorship program, and Trinette Wallace's advocacy project is to attract and retain a more diversified educator workforce. Congratulations to this year's winners. We can't wait to see the impact that this opportunity will have, and thank you, Jessica, for helping me. All right, next, the moment that many people have been waiting for. I am honored to announce the finalist for the Louisiana Teacher and Principal of the Year. The Louisiana Department of Education recognizes that great teachers and school leaders are critical to student success. In partnership with Dream Teachers and the Louisiana Association of Principals, the department recognizes and celebrates some of the state's most exceptional educators through the Teacher and Principal of the Year programs. Right now, I would like to take the time to announce the 9 finalists for Louisiana Principal of the Year. After I call your name, please stand to be recognized. Jeremy Muse, Lake Elementary, Ascension Parish. David Thrash, Bossier High, Bossier Parish. Marco French, Queensboro Elementary, Caddo Parish. Ronnie Harvey Jr., Washington Marion Magnet, Calcasieu Parish. Claudette J. Perkins, Audubon Elementary, East Baton Rouge. John Hill, Albany Middle, Livingston Parish. Lacey Morel Bush, STEM Magnet Academy of Point Capee Parish. Kevin Dugas, St. Martinville Senior High, St. Martin Parish. Karen Robinson, West Leesville Elementary, Vernon Parish. Congratulations, principals. It's truly deserved. I can't imagine leading a school during this time, and teaching during this time is also challenging. So now for our 9 finalists for Louisiana Teachers of the Year. After I call your name, please stand to be recognized. Caitlin Richard, South Beauregard Elementary, Beauregard Parish. Michelle Lewis, Math and Science and Arts Academy, East Iberville Parish. Michelle Pullichet, John Q. Adams Middle, Jefferson Parish. Courtney Martin, Ruston High, Lincoln Parish. Angela Como Goodley, Edward Hines Charter, Orleans Parish. Angela Leash, West Ridge Middle, Ouachita Parish. Ernest Hill, Holly Ridge Elementary, Richland Parish. Annalise Cassar Tedesco, Chalmette High, St. Bernard Parish. And Brittany Matthews, Zachary High, Zachary Community School District. Again, can we give it up for all of the teachers of the year? Major congratulations to these finalists. The winners will be announced at the 15th Annual Excellent Educator Awards Gala that will be held virtually on July 16th, where we will recognize all semifinalists and finalists for State Teachers and Principals of the Year. All teachers are truly deserving of awards during this trying time. With that, I'm going to hand things back over to Zach, who's going to tell us about a new honor recognizing school and system excellence. Take it away, Zach.
Thank you for that. Oh. Just give me 1 second here. Dr. Brumley believes in showcasing models of excellence to honor amazing work so others can duplicate that success. The Louisiana Models of Excellence Initiative was created to acknowledge, honor, and spotlight schools serving as models for implementing the department's educational priorities that lead to student success. This new program will celebrate excellence in Louisiana schools, share stories of success, and provide models for others to see, and create partnerships across school systems. Last week, the first school was honored through this program. Phyllis Wheatley Community School in New Orleans was awarded for providing the highest quality teaching and learning environment. Teachers and leaders there have improved student literacy with multiple levels of support. The school is part of the K-2 Literacy Coaching Pilot and an active partner in providing high-quality teaching and learning environments that focus on literacy. Thank you to these teachers and leaders for always putting students first. Now I'm pleased to turn things back over to Dr. Brumley for this morning's keynote address.
Thanks, Zach. Zach memorized all his lines, unlike me. Good job, Zach, thanks. Y'all, we're here. We're here. I'm thankful to see you. That was not a winning team clap. I don't think you understand. I'm just so excited to see you face to face. Zoom classrooms are great, but this is better. So thank you for being here. So I'm an educator. I love alliteration. Anybody else like that? One or two people like some alliteration. So today, I could come up and attempt to give a moving speech, or I could come up and tell my leadership story, but instead I think today should be about telling your story. Without a doubt, this has been an unprecedented year. This has been a year like no one has ever faced in the educational community for many different reasons that we all know, such as a global health pandemic, such as a super aggressive hurricane season, civil unrest, winter storms, national elections, storming of the Capitol, recent flooding. So whenever I talk to my colleagues around the country, I try to tell them not only are we facing the same things that you face, but we've also had some Louisiana-specific challenges to overcome, and we have done that together. Whenever I think about the educational community in our state, I could not be more proud. The work that you have done over the course of this year to keep our kids safe, to keep employees safe, and to ensure learning is taking place across this state is just so amazing. And I have been honored to tell your story every time that I've had the opportunity over the course of the year. So from the bottom of my heart, just hear this. Thank you. Thank you for what you have done over the course of the year, doing things that you have never had to do to help support kids and fellow educators and community members and families. And for that, I will be forever grateful for you helping me through a very difficult year. So in a previous life as a teacher and a coach, whenever I had a specific baseball game, and I needed to win this baseball game. And so I'm the coach of the team, and so I'm thinking about, how am I going to win this game? And so I'm thinking about the pitcher of the game. And whenever I think about the pitcher of the game, I know I have this one pitcher that throws the ball really hard, and he has the ability to strike people out, but you never really know where that ball is going to go. He's a little wild when he throws sometimes, really hard but wild. And then I have this other pitcher who can throw all kind of weird balls around, and one will go right, and one will curve, and one will knuckle, and all these cool things. But it really didn't feel right. And this was a really important game. And so what I wanted to do is have a really reliable pitcher. And so I picked a reliable pitcher, one that I knew was just going to be here. He's going to be right down the center. I knew what he was going to do, and we were going to be successful. And so I went with the reliable pitcher, and we won the game. And look, whenever I think about the educational community over the course of this year, you all have been that reliable pitcher. You have been that pitcher who has been steadfast, who has been focused, who has done everything that you could do to try and help your kids through a very tough year, to help your peers through a very tough year. And again, whenever I look at cities and states around the country, I turn on the TV, I'm thankful that I'm in Louisiana here with you where we're doing this work. One of the schools that we're going to highlight today is an example of that work. They had challenges like the rest of us. And like many of you, they just buckled down. They knew that they could provide the mitigation efforts to keep kids safe, and they did everything that they could do over the course of the year to give kids a great education. So ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I point you to the screens to learn a little bit more about Baton Rouge Mid-City GeoPrep.
March 13th was a day that I did not believe was going to happen.
I kind of had in my mind the intentions of, we'll be back. And one day went to 2 days, and went 2 weeks, and the end of the school year came and went, and we were still virtual.
We were, of course, kind of alarmed, but at the same time, we had a plan.
We continued to teach and learn every day. It did not stop. We just went that extra mile.
I remember me saying goodbye to my friends and me just being like, wow, I'm gonna miss this school.
When we did our testing in August, we realized a lot of our children did not regress as much because we continued to provide instruction from March to May, and even during the summer.
The school did an amazing job with getting us geared up. They sent us to all these trainings. I also sent myself to trainings just to build that digital literacy for myself, because I know once we got back to school, I was gonna have to know how to maneuver through those different platforms.
We did the 100% virtual format up until around Labor Day. And so right after Labor Day, we opened back up, I wanna say at about a 50% capacity. We know that face-to-face learning is the most effective.
I also feel like it's important because of the social aspect. I know we still social distance. There are a lot of things that they can't do now that they could do before the pandemic, but just being able to socialize, being able to see their eyes. I can see the smile in their eyes.
To me, it felt a lot better for the kids, and I can really see that the face-to-face interaction is something that they missed also.
My first day back was exciting. I got to see my friends again, my favorite teachers, they were excited to see me, and I even got back on track. I started getting AP honor roll.
I think all of the children need to be back, and I hope in August that at least 99% of our kids are back face-to-face, because nothing is more important in a child's life than a true teacher.
I can't say enough about the teachers. They have definitely gone the extra mile.
I love the teachers. I love how they help you, they can be understanding, they can help you when you're down.
I always ask myself, is this the kind of instruction or learning that I would like to take place for my own children? And I can definitely honestly say that what I see here is phenomenal.
The thing that's most unique about the success story here is that despite all of our own personal things that we were going through, we were able to pull together as a team, and we were able to provide the type of instruction and the type of caring environment that our kids needed.
Well, a lesson that I've learned is that teaching already comes with challenges, daily challenges, but with the pandemic, it was actually a new experience, and it came with a lot of trial and error, but it also came with a lot of success.
My thought and belief is that every child deserves a quality education, and I feel good about what we've done here to provide that to our students. Yes, we could have said, oh, well, we're not coming back or we're not doing this, but we did everything we could to get back in this building. And as long as we keep that energy going, whatever it takes, then I just feel like we can do anything.
So we have members of the Geo Prep Mid-City team here today. Just ask them to stand up so we could recognize them again. Thank you. Okay, so my first R for alliteration was reliable. Thank you for being reliable. Now my second R is responsive. So I used to be a school principal. I like to think once a principal, always a principal. And one of the things that I never really appreciated until I became a school principal was the obligation that I had every single day to keep kids safe. And it wasn't until that first morning that I was going to school and I was the school principal that I really thought, oh my God, I've got to keep everybody safe at this school today. And so with that thought and with that weight on my shoulders, I had to respond. So I had to think about things like access control to the building. You had to think about things like check-in and check-out procedures. You have to think about bus stops. You have to think about all these things, safety drills, that otherwise I had never previously thought of. But I had to be responsive to what I knew could be a situation that I was ultimately responsible for, the lives of the kids and the employees in the building. And so over the course of the year, being in a global health pandemic, being in a hurricane season, being in deadly flooding, principals and teachers, you've had to respond in new ways. You had to think about last spring, how do we deliver meals to kids? How can we work this out? How can we, over the course of the summer, stand up a virtual instruction program? How can we provide professional development for teachers in these new formats? How can we make sure that we're supporting the mental health needs of our kids and our families and our fellow teachers? How are we thinking about the most robust summer program that we've ever had in the state of Louisiana, so make sure that we are recovering for our kids? And what are we thinking about in terms of next year? Are we rethinking our schedules and how those schedules look to be able to provide high dosage tutoring to kids every single day who might need that the most? And so you have responded in so many different ways. And of course, over the course of this 3 minutes talking about you being responsive, I can't even list the ways in which you have been responsive to your particular school and your particular families and kids, but you have, and you know you have, and your coworkers have, and for that I am very thankful. So one of the systems that we're going to recognize today thought about their students. They thought about the inconsistency in their scheduling. They thought about what they could do to rework their school calendar to put their kids in a better position to be successful within their local context. They believed it would work for them. So what we're about to see is a clip of Red River Parish School System in Coshada in North Louisiana who rethought their school calendar over the course of the year, built out a calendar that provided for face-to-face instruction, but also periods where kids were away, and then they brought in kids targeted for intervention and extension opportunities. And this is prompted from the pandemic. And I know that there are many other things that have been prompted because of the pandemic. So let's take a look at Red River School District.
Our motto as a district is every child, every day, whatever it takes.
We knew that we had to do something to address the lost learning of our students, and so the balanced calendar allowed that COVID wasn't the only reason why we decided. We have for years had to answer for the regression of our students when they go home for the summer.
Every year we get the same results. How can we build up achievement? How can we change? But we still use the same premise of a traditional calendar. So what we had to do was think outside the box.
We know through research and through talking with other people that have done this balanced calendar that it's what's best for our kids.
I think the worst thing about a balanced calendar is that it's referred to as year-round school. It's not. What we do is we go 9 weeks, basically, off 2 weeks, and we decrease the number of days that our students are out consecutively on breaks. But as anybody knows, when you ask someone to do something that's different, that takes them away from something that has been done for years, it's very difficult.
We presented this to everyone who wanted to listen. We had a lot of conversation with the people in the parish about what it would look like and why we wanted to do this.
The biggest thing is our intercession periods. During our 2 weeks, we are offering targeted remediation for a week of the 2-week break. We're also offering enrichment to those children that don't necessarily need the extra help.
We saw a third of our population of our high school students show up for intercession on their week off. So it gave me an amazing hope that now we can really recover some of this lost learning.
It gives you that motivation, like, hey, I want to be here. I want to help these kids to the best of my ability because they want to be here.
It's really relieved a lot of stress. So I take a lot of dual enrollment classes. And so, our Northwestern schedule is kind of different than our Red River schedule. And so when we're on our 2-week break, I have a lot of extra time to catch up on my Northwestern work.
Our vocational teachers have embraced this. We have internships going on with our CNA program.
I took a CNA class my junior year, and I got certified last summer. I started working at the nursing home, but once I turned 18, I started working at the hospital.
Balanced calendar helps because we get them to be able in that week to do internships, to go hands-on and work a full 8-hour day. Right now, that's perfect opportunities for us because the construction that's going on, we have CTE students that are able to go job shadow and see these things take place hands-on and in person.
I didn't realize how successful intercession days would be. We planned it for, those students that were virtual at the time that could come to school, but the kids that come during intercession surprised me.
It has just been a complete and total embracing of whatever we have to do, we're going to do to make sure these students are getting everything that we can give them in the time that we have them.
This district is going to be a shining spotlight for the state. One, being the first to adopt a parish-wide balanced calendar. You're going to see dramatic changes in test scores, student relationships, disciplines. It is going to happen.
What we're committed to here is not doing the same thing to get the same results. We're committed to making decisions that yield us the results that children deserve and that this community deserves.
So we have our Red River team out here. I think they're this way. Red River, if you'd stand and just be recognized for taking this innovative approach. So we have reliable, and we have responsive, and my third and final R is, I think it describes you well, and that is resilient. So you are reliable, you are responsive, and you are resilient. Look, every Monday morning, I'm up. I get my shower, putting on my suit. I'm in front of this mirror, and I'm tying my tie 30 times to get it exactly right. And I'm just thinking, I'm not sure what's going to hit today. I'm not sure what question I'm going to be asked today. I'm not sure how to handle so many of these things that we're dealing with because they're new. No one has done this before. And then I talk to individuals at our office, or I'm in the field, and I talk to some of you in your schools, and I look in your face, and I see fear, I see concern, but I also see hope, and I also see optimism, and I see a belief that that we're going to find our way through this, we're going to get through this, and we're going to be better together, because that's the type of people that we are. Really shouldn't do this, but I'm going to. Who wants to do a sing-along? If I'm going to put myself out here and do a sing-along, I'm going to need some help. So we have to think of a theme song for us over the course of the year. And so I've been thinking, like, what is a theme song for us over the course of the year? Is my time up? I have to stop now? They're giving me extra time. So what is the theme song for the year? So I thought about it, and then I think about a Tom Petty song. Does anybody know what I'm thinking of? I Won't Back Down. Yeah, I Won't Back Down. Hey, hey. All right, so it goes like this. It goes like, all right, so who will sing with? I'll do it one time by myself and watch the video cameras do it. So it goes like, it goes, no, I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of, that's so weak, but I won't back down. All right, so you got to help me. All right, so help me. Look, they're going to give me a hard time forever, so if you could help me, it would make me feel better. So I'll start it off. This is our theme song because this is what we've been. We haven't backed down from these challenges. So all right, here we go. I won't back down. No, I won't back down. You can stand me up at the gates of, and I won't back down. Give yourself a round of applause. Now, that was not good, but that's okay. So, look, when I think about difficult times over the course of the year, we have not backed down. We have been resilient. It's been like, give us another challenge. We're ready to punch it in the face. Give it to us. We can do this. And so there have been so many systems who have worked through challenges, but one of the ones that we want to highlight today is in Southwest Louisiana, who not only have they dealt with everything we've all dealt with, but they also dealt with a super aggressive hurricane season. Hurricane Laura, Hurricane Delta changed lives. If you wouldn't mind, look at the screens. We're going to tell the story of the Calcasieu Parish School System.
At the time of the start of the school year, I was an elementary principal. So we had done everything that we needed to do to prepare for a safe start.
Our teachers were ready. I mean, you go into some of the rooms, they even had like planners laid out on desks, they had IDs laid out on desks.
And so we were set to open on a Monday with kids. Our teachers had been in training. And then we get the news that hurricane is coming our direction.
Millions of Americans along the Gulf Coast are bracing for a potentially catastrophic hurricane. That is Laura, of course. While they're still dealing with the coronavirus pandemic, Hurricane Laura could bring unprecedented destruction to parts of the Gulf Coast. The National Hurricane Center warning of unsurvivable storm surge.
I was actually going to stay here. People have called me mentally unstable for that. But at 6 o'clock that afternoon, I found out from our risk manager that Entergy was moving their people out of the parish, and that Entergy had never done that before.
We woke up the day after the hurricanes, and we were just devastated because we saw pictures of our house, and it was completely destroyed, and that was the most heartbreaking thing I've ever experienced.
I wasn't terribly worried until I couldn't get my husband to send me pictures. He was kind of hesitant. He was like, you know, Laura, you're gonna see it when you see it and it's gonna be okay. And that made me more nervous about it. And then as more and more reports came in and just the videos on Facebook, that's when I really realized, oh, this is a big one. This is gonna take us out of school. It's gonna change our lives for this school year.
Driving up to the school, I actually turned my camera on my phone and was just looking like, whoa. It was just something that it looks like, kind of like maybe like Hercules just kind of came and picked some things that some you would see in a Marvel movie.
The morning after Laura was devastating. I immediately called a police officer and I said, you've got to go to my school before my house. And the reason for that is that my home is home to my husband and my children and I knew that we had insurance, I knew that we had family, but I know that our school is home to children and some of our children don't have that.
We had people coming in telling us, man, y'all won't be back at school this year. I said, well, what do you mean this year? Well, I just can't see a way y'all are going back to school this school year. And I said, man, don't say that in my presence. And I was serious.
It was surreal because you're like, how can we do this? How are we ever gonna fix this? And that feeling sits with you for a few minutes, but then it very quickly subsides into a feeling of resilience and determination. And, you know, this is what we do. We're teachers.
The more we could get children back in school, the more it was a morale issue more than anything. You know, the potential's there for all of us to be back in a normal setting. And we use the word normal a lot. Man, we hadn't seen normal since March. And now the hurricane hit, everybody was starting to forget what normal looked like. It was important for us to be part of teaching them what it looked like again. Within 3 weeks, we had about 18 schools open. They weren't pretty. They weren't always comfortable. We didn't have all of our faculty back, but it was the moral boost we had to have some return to normalcy. Of course, we had committed to open a few more the following week, and here comes Hurricane Delta.
Hurricane Delta made landfall as a Category 2 storm. It unleashed a life-threatening storm surge and winds of around 100 miles per hour.
It's also the same part of the state that got devastated by Category 4 Hurricane Laura just 6 weeks ago.
One thing that we never, I guess, felt went away was the expectation of taking care of our people. I'm a crier, so you'll have to forgive me if I get a little bit emotional, but you know, everywhere you look, from the first day, but especially after the hurricane, you were kind of surrounded with resilience. And you know, resilience doesn't look like perfection, right? It looks like keep on going, surrounding one another, supporting one another.
I have a teacher named Ms. Lori Benoit, and she made us not really be discouraged. Even though she may have been a bit discouraged in herself, she didn't project that onto us, and she gave us hope that we would return back.
Going through that, I had to watch my parents struggle, I had to watch my siblings struggle. My whole entire family was helping us with everything. Like, I had so many teachers that I've had previously reach out to me and say, if you need anything, let me know. I can even cook y'all supper one night, y'all could come over.
What I do think the district did a great job of was just being compassionate, giving us just some motivation, just telling us that everything was going to be okay, and answering the calls when we called.
We were all in this together and had to stay together if we were going to make a strong comeback, and we realized that. And failure was just not an option. Our kids needed us, and we needed them.
And that's what teachers do, they adapt. So whatever's thrown at them, they figure out a way to adapt, and they overcome, and they make it work because they love the kids, and they want the kids to be educated, and they want the kids to have something just as normal as that kid wants something normal.
More than anything, it's been about giving grace to so many people along the way when they're not feeling at the top of their game. But also, we have to shift, and we have to remember why we're here. So we can't get to the point where we're just worried about the buildings or we're just worried about the pandemic. We also have to take care of the learning that needs to take place.
Now that we've been able to start getting back into school, people have really been able to start bringing their grades back up, getting more involved in the school.
Like I said, there's people here who still don't live in their houses. There's students who aren't back in the parish, clearly. But if you walked around this parish in our schools, you would say there's education going on here. There are people coming to work. There are people engaged. There are students who are happy to be here and getting a quality education, and that's the resilience that we have experienced here, and that's what we're so proud of, is that we're back.
To my teachers, I just want to say thank you for reaching out, because going through a time like that and how bad I was struggling, having anybody, and especially teachers that I got super close to during their classes, reach out to me was very heartwarming, and it made me feel very loved. And it just made me feel like my school was a family and that I mattered there.
And you know, I have teachers that are living in campers that never said that to me when they called. They were just like, I can be back whenever you need me. We've had people who have lost family members. As I said, I lost my mother 2 weeks ago to COVID. I lost my childhood home to Laura, to the ground. It's gone. And so, you know, you think about those things. I think that the tragedy in all this has brought us closer together, because we're all going through things. We all need grace. We all need to extend grace to others. But what it has shown me is that we are resilient, and failure is just not an option. We have to keep going. Our kids are counting on us.
So I'm going to handle this one a little differently. Not only am I going to ask Calcasieu to stand, but every system that has been impacted by this super aggressive hurricane season in southwest Louisiana, just ask that you all stand so that you can be recognized. We're also fortunate to have a state board that is kid-centric and tries to keep the main thing, which is better outcomes for kids, and supports our team. So I'd be remiss at this point if I didn't recognize a few members of our state board who are present with us here today in no particular order. And just please stand. Ashley Ellis, Doris Vaucher, Sandy Holloway, and Ronnie Morris. A round of applause for our state board members. They are deeply committed to better outcomes for kids, and for that, I say thank you. I'm going to do one other thing. I believe this is like the first event in this convention center in a year of this size, and so I just want to take time to thank the staff of the convention center for working through all of this to help make this possible. So we are reliable, we are responsive, and we are resilient. That is who we are, Louisiana, and that is who we have been. And, you know, I don't want us to return to normal because in normal, too few of our kids can read. I don't want us to return to normal because in normal, not enough of our teachers get fulfilling job-embedded professional development every week led by teacher leaders. I don't want us to go back to normal because not enough of our kids are graduating with a personalized high school experience being handed off to the next season of their life very deliberately. And so I'm going to call out to you to help me do those things. So as we return to whatever normal might be, let's also return and with a mindset, let's get better in a few things. And let's do that together. And I'm here to help you to do that. You are reliable to me, you are responsive to me, and you are resilient. And for that, I am very thankful. So as we wrap up this presentation, special thanks to my co-host, Mickey Smith Jr., Zach Pryor. Thank you for helping me. And as a special treat, you know, if you love the Mahalia Jackson at the beginning like I did, if you love the What a Wonderful World, if you love Tom Petty, if you loved our musical selections today, you're really going to love this next treat. And this band is going to lead you out of the building together. I am so stoked about this, even though Drew Brees retired. I am so stoked about this. So at this time, Mickey, help us out. This is the Tom Benson Band from Jefferson Parish.